ጤና ይስጥልኝ የቂርቆስ ቲዩብ ቻናል ተከታታዮች፣ በዛሬው መርሃ ግብር ኢትዮጵያ ዘ ክላሲክ ኬዝ የሚለውን የእንግሊዝኛ መጽሐፍ መግቢያ ወይም ፕሪያምብል ደግሞ ልጄ ሄኖስ ግርማ ያቀርብላችኋል። ስለዚህ እንድትከታተሉ በአክብሮት እንጋብዛችኋለን።
Preamble, the purpose of the message. This message is neither from nor about the Ethiopia which is man-made or depicted by secular historians and intellectuals as such, or invented by politicians since recent times, as is evident in the current situations. This message is from and about the historic and biblical, the true and living Ethiopia, which is God-made and recognized as such by those ancient, medieval, and modern nations of cultured and civilized world, by all religious peoples like Christians, Jews, Muslims, and other faiths, and by those systems of governments like theocracies, monarchies, autocracies, and democracies. The purpose of the first part of the message is to primarily enlighten all those who do not know and need to know the truth, which is the divine truth about Ethiopia, the Ethiopians, and Ethiopianism. It's also to admonish those who have interest in Ethiopia but are against or prejudiced in maintaining a negative attitude towards her, to re-examine and correct their misconceived positions in this regard for their own sake. Lastly, it's to warn those who are preoccupied overtly and or covertly to destroy Ethiopia and the divine causes for which she stands, of all the dire consequences that would befall them, unless they submit in penitence to the will of the Almighty. The second part of the message deals with the divine wrath brought about by human perversion of the above-mentioned divine truth. The incentive to write and incorporate it in this publication was prompted by a letter sent to me from a Rastafarian who received the first part of this message and was critical of one of the issues embodied therein. A duplicate of this letter is printed as an overture for part 2 of this book. The urgent need not only to clarify but also rectify the various distortions, misconceptions, misrepresentations, and misinterpretations, deliberate or otherwise, committed by some interested and disinterested groups on the identity and heritage of Ethiopia and the Ethiopians, thus made it quite imperative to publish this message comprising both parts. All those who authored as experts on Ethiopia and on the Ethiopians and who engage in writing or studying about issues of the same subject matters are urged to be well informed of the essence of this message and make relevant corrections to the deviations, if any, from the truth. I hope and pray that all those who love Ethiopia and who are in diasporas from the time immemorial, scattered throughout the face of the earth, and who claim to be her descendants, tracing their ancestry to the Ethiopian roots, including those who call themselves Rastafarians, will benefit from the truth that is revealed in this message. Both the first and the second parts of the message were officially sent in a letter form to the pertinent world heads of states, governments, churches, and religious establishments, as well as private, national, regional, ecumenical, and international organizations and few individuals. The list appears at the end of the book on pages 214 up to 220. Such measures was taken with the aim to help bring about the salvation of humanity through the conveyance of the message by those responsible leaders to their respective peoples and to the member bodies under their guidance. As the message is ordained to reach each living human being, I deeply felt a sense of duty to make it available to every individual irrespective of their age, education, physical and economic status, as well as the racial, religious, and social, as well as political positions, affiliations, and persuasions of that person. The publication of the whole message in this issue with some editing and minor additions to the original text is therefore the fulfillment of that personal commitment on my part. It is my earnest desire that the whole presentation and revelation contained herein would help, first, enlighten all readers and through their intermediaries their fellow human contacts with regard to the truth about Ethiopia and the Holy Covenant to which the former remains eternally attached. Secondly, remind them and all those accountable to reconsider seriously and promptly their individual and collective stances in relation to the divine truth and its current positive warnings outlined in the following pages. Finally, let it be known that in the discharge of my duty of conveying this message of the divine truth to my readers and to all those concerned, it's not I, but the same God, Word and Spirit that has urged Prophet Jeremiah, Jesus Christ himself, and Apostle Paul to speak to their generations that is acting once again for the present one. The following verses attest to this fact respectively. A. I will put my law within them. I will write it upon their hearts. No longer shall each man teach his neighbor and each his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, spoke the Lord through Jeremiah. B. It is written in the prophets, and they shall all be taught by God. Everyone who has heard from and learned from God the Father comes to me, said Jesus Christ. C. The good news which was proclaimed by me is not man's, for I did not receive it from man, nor was I taught it, but it came through a revelation of Jesus Christ, wrote Paul.